me pull out the list of words that I cannot say. You really judge a person by how they treat people when they don't have to treat them well and when it's in their best interest not to treat them well. I'm going to repeat that. You should judge people by how they treat people, right? But people who they don't have to treat well, or people that they could benefit from treating bad. Bernie Sanders is a white man in America. He does not have to care about anyone in this room but himself, let Republicans tell him. Bernie Sanders is an ethnic person in America. He could say, I worry about me and my group. Yet since a teenager and a young adult, he has fought for the rights of people who don't look like him, who are not from where he's from, who are not from his socioeconomic background. And just last week, when given the opportunity to separate himself from a black guy who said something that other people didn't like, he stood on his integrity and his convictions and depended on Americans to be intelligent enough to say, in spite of his opportunity to separate himself to look better, this man stood and told a simple truth. I respect that more than a grand introduction for a politician. Because that means when you're in office and a hard decision is going to be made, you're going to think about the people you talk to at these rallies. As president, he's going to think about women's rights before he thinks of his own. As president, Bernie Sanders is going to say publicly, police have no right to murder your children in the streets. As president, Bernie Sanders will make sure that people who work the least of the jobs among us receive fair wages so that they can be a part of the economic climate that we enjoy in America. As president of the United States, he's going to unify people based on our differences and not ask us to separate and be apart. I am for the first time in my life seeing what civil rights promised my grandmother. And that is an opportunity to have someone who doesn't look like me, have empathy for me, but be willing to make policy that makes it fair, even if it puts them at a regular, normal person's level with me. I am looking for the first time in my life at a politician who, in spite of popular demand, said, I'm going to stand with someone on an unpopular thing because people deserve free health care, people deserve free education, people deserve to be paid a wage they deserve. People deserve to be treated as well as any white man in America. And for the first time in my life, I am seeing a politician call for true equality by way of policy and not asking me to wait. For the first time in my life, and I'm going to leave and I'm going to introduce this guy soon, but when you have an opportunity to tell two black girls to shut up and get off stage and you don't, and you shake their hand and you smile and you step to the side and you listen, that is a firm difference from turning around and staring at a little black girl and saying, shut up, I'll talk to you later. You're being rude, or allowing people to say that to her. I'm going to tell you the proof is in the pudding every time. If I can find a picture of you from 51 years ago, chained to a black woman, protesting segregation, and I know 51 years later, you're willing to fold your arms, hold your head, and listen to two black girls yell and scream, rightfully so, as opposed to someone who will tell you to shut up after they read their own words. As opposed to someone who will tell you later, when it comes to your children dying in the streets, I know that the only person that I have the conscience to vote for is Bernard Sanders. I know that the only person that my logical, beautiful black mind will allow me to vote for is Senator Bernie Sanders. And I want to tell the other side, I know from going around and shaking hands and hugging these beautiful black faces in South Carolina, that goddamn firewall got a crack in it. I introduce you